Good evening. This is David Lynn, and you are watching Coffee Talk, the Sunday edition, number 426, 7 p.m. Central Time. The goat. The goat, my coffee. Susanna Morrison, proud single mom. The Bud Files and KP Heathen. Welcome, my friends. I tell you, if y'all are not subscribed to Susanna, she's got 30,000 subscribers. I feel quite honored that she came on to my small channel. So I hope all of y'all are doing well this evening. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. I tell you, I have so much retirement days. Welcome. I have so much material right now to upload, it's not funny. And I'm trying to space it out. I don't like doing an Uncle Al or so, oh, I'm gonna do 20 shorts today. I don't do that. He puts out material like you would not believe. Buying Space and Holly Ivins, welcome, folks, welcome. For me, Idaho Garden Girl, welcome. For me, I have been putting out material because I've done a couple of videos recently. I don't do that usually. Belinda's Country Living, welcome. And here he is, Uncle Al by Bullfrog79. Please leave a like to support the channel. Hostile Cowboy, welcome. Where is Enrique at to ask what's the topic? Well, we're going to talk about Uncle Al's Summer of Love 2.5, the Texas edition, because all those liberal meltdowns and protests that have been happening, they had that yesterday, 1,500 across the country. They had a lot of them here in Texas. 8 in the house, 10 likes. So, Dallas, Houston, Corpus Christi, my hometown, Corpus Christi, and even here in Victoria, Texas, they were protesting. They are melting down. They have derangement syndrome. Something awful. So that always makes me go back to the bread and butter. Do you have bread and butter? Do you have food laid back? Do you have water laid back? Do you have plenty of medication if you take medication? Can you afford not to go to the store for a period of time? Whenever something happens or something's projected to happen, everybody goes nuts and they go clean out the stores. No more toilet paper, no more bottled water, no more ramen. They go through and they just basically give the place an enema. They clean it out. And little lone prepper in the house. So right now, they don't know what to do. They've got activist district judges. And I don't want to get into that again because Uncle Al said, didn't you get that out of your system the last time you were ranting about that? Well, they've had activist judges, district court judges, trying to put freezes nationwide on things that the administration's doing. And you just had a ruling by the Supreme Court, 5-4. The Chief Justice, a lot of times the Chief Justice will vote with the leftists. He'll vote with the Democrat appointed. There's 3 of them that were appointed by Democrats. He was appointed by Bush. But the Chief Justice, a lot of times, he bails out the liberals. But Trump was able to appoint 3 judges during his first term. And they voted together with Alito and Clarence Thomas. So you had a 5-4 vote. So they're going to stop a lot of the activist judges trying to make rulings. Basically, what their tactic is just to delay and stall and to try to work till they get through the midterms, and they're praying that they can, retake the House because the Republicans only have a few seats in the House, majority. So they're just praying that they can retake the House. And they're going to just try to block everything for the next 2 years. Like, return the criminals. Return the gang members. Who are you to deport criminal gang members? Some good laws passed in Idaho. Convicted peds as get death penalty. Well, that's good. Firing squad. No welfare for illegals. Hey, did you see apparently 1.2 million illegals got Social Security numbers recently, as in the Biden administration? How many of them do you think voted? How many do you think are getting some form of government assistance? They found 1.2 million. They're finding out all sorts of stuff. Well, God bless Holly and her husband. Well, that's the way it should be. Only the flags that can be displayed in schools are the U.S. flag and the Idaho state flag. I would include, if there's a city flag, I would include the city flag. If it's a decent flag, I would apply the city flag. No shutdown mandates, mask mandates. Nobody can force you to get jab. Good. Becoming dangerous. Hello, Wayne. Wayne, the ungrateful peasant, and Becoming Dangerous. He has a really good channel. Thank you for your service in the military. Uncle Al, thank you for your service. And anybody else that served, thank you for your service. No, been talking about what's been going on with the protesters. Good Lord, you'd think the world's coming to an end. At least their version of it. So, this weekend I posted a couple of videos. I did I think I did one on matches. Matches. And I got more. Matches. I did a video on matches. 99 cents. Go to Walmart. You can get big boxes of them, 99 cents. Very inexpensive preps. And I've got one I'm going to be putting out. I did a mail call. What Myra Bikespace said, oh, you did in unenveloping. In unenveloping. I did open a box and I opened an envelope or a packaging. I did an unenveloping. I had a good laugh on that one. So I've got one that I have to edit, put together. I did another water one. I'm doing another water video. If this is more, it's going to have more information in it. It's going to have prices with it. It's going to talk a little bit more about, the idea for storage, water storage. You should have a gallon a day per person ready. And I'm having the goat. And I know this is like mirrored, but it's GOAT. This is GOAT Diet Coke. Oh, what was that Maxwell House commercial? Good to the last drop? It's good to the last drop. Okay. So, back to topic. I have a lot of the windproof ones, the good ones. I got a bunch of those too. They're more expensive, but they'll burn and they'll burn for a certain length of time, and they're going to burn. You strike it, it's going to burn. It's going to burn through. But yes, they probably don't make them the way they used to. Penny matches have been around for over 100 years, about 150 years actually. Mom of 4 boys, how you doing? Rachel in the house. I can't believe you said that. Enrique Trevino, my friend. I sometimes joke with people. I said, somebody cuts the cheese, you strike a match, it could be an explosion. Or else the match burns green. The flame of the match burns green. Oh, Lord. The cover, the smell of a fart. That's a good one. Okay. Yep. Restrooms. Okay, that's a good one. Yes, we still use them in restrooms. All right. So back to the topic, Enrique. The liberal meltdown. Uncle Al's Summer of Love version 2.5. This is the Texas edition we're talking about. Of those 1,500 protests that they had yesterday all over the nation, they had some pretty good sized ones in Dallas, Houston, Corpus Christi, even Victoria, Texas, where I live. There were some protesters. They normally, what they'll do is they'll line up along Navarro, which is the main drag, out in front of the HEB Plus and certain, down there's a shopping center along there, and they'll line up along there and they'll wave their little signs and their banners and their Mexican flags and whatever else BS that they wind up doing, and they try to get people to get people upset. They're protesting. They are asserting their constitutional right to peaceably assemble. But now there are places where they're not necessarily being peaceful. They're raising hell and they're doing damage. But where I live, if they started doing that, they'd haul them away so fast it wouldn't be funny. Melinda Elliott in the house. So, a word to the wise, I am trying to hit 1,900. I got 30 to go. I could have one of Enrique's explosions, and I could pick up 30 subscribers overnight. It's happened before. Don't think so. Don't think that's going to happen like that, but I am slowly eking up. At some point, I'll hit 1,900, and when I hit 1,900 subscribers, I'm going to be looking at my last video, write down the names of everybody that left me a supportive comment. Please leave a supportive comment and a like, and then I'll go back one at a time. Do I check your name off that you're there, or do I cross your name out? The last time I had 14 people that were in the drawing. 14 people. This time, might be 10, might be 15, might be 20. I don't know. Probably won't be 20. Prior to that, I was at over 40. 42 one time that were in the drawing. But it seems to have slowed way down for me. I haven't been as active. I haven't been producing as much. Now I will tell you this: I have been running live stream. I've been replaying live streams today, letting people know that I'm replaying live streams, punching that little button that timestamps it. I run one for one person. It was 2 hours and 8 minutes. Run one for another person. It was an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. I have been running videos. I've been leaving comments. I've been watching. I haven't seen Mike in this evening, but I watched a nice ration review of Mike's. Wayne has been focusing on getting the book done and getting my media company off the ground. That's wonderful. Please feel free to drop a link if you've got a place for purchase. Melinda said she wanted to talk a little bit about her book, and that she wanted to part-time planning. How's it going? Thank you for coming. I'm not going to unbox it right now, but I'm going to show you a box. My new Apple Air notebook computer came in from Amazon. Uncle Al's excited. Oh, you're going to start live streaming with a computer. Yeah, I'm going to start live streaming with my notebook when I get the thing up and running. I've got an aide at school that's young and technical, and I'll get her to unbox it and get her going. Viking Media is my publishing company. Viking Media sounds good. Late fall or early winter. I look forward to it, and I will acquire a copy. Of course, I want you to sign it. Um, Enrique, and maybe the image won't be mirrored on the computer. Hopefully not. I'm told that I should be able to make it not mirrored, but I hadn't had enough time. Kayla Boo! Welcome, Kayla Boo. Haven't had, beautiful lady. I haven't had enough instructions on how to do that. Like one of the things I want to do is I'm going to have a third channel, backup channel. I'll have a second backup channel. So I already have a backup channel. I'll have a second one, so I'll have three channels. My main channel, and I'll have two backup channels. And with the backup channels, I can basically give support to people. I can be running, I can be running somebody's playlist. I can be giving them support. Hopefully, they'll return the favor, give me support for watch time, and such, and we'll support each other. And I've got some people who, before my wife had her um, last bout, which started in like September, and she was really messed up from September up to September, October, November, and into December. I stopped doing that. I had not been running a playlist. I hadn't been doing any of that, but I'm starting to do that again. So I am like overnight. I will be running some. I will be running some people's live streams, and to give them watch time. I'm happy they're exposing those slimy creatures. Yeah, they're finding all sorts of stuff. They're finding all sorts of stuff. I'm waiting for the prosecutions. You know, I'm waiting to see exactly how much money they're going to be able to save. From all this fraudulent, wasteful spending for stupid stuff, and how much that they're finding that has been misappropriated but hasn't been spent. I'm waiting for that. Diet Coke, I'm drinking the GOAT. GOAT. Waiting for that to happen. We'll see. I tell you what, popcorn. Get the popcorn and the buddy ready because it's coming. My kinda. Do you have a TikTok page? Oh Lord, I don't do personally, and I know you're probably talking to Melinda. I don't do TikTok. I don't do Facebook. I'm old. I'm old school. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. I don't do Twitter. I don't tweet. I don't twerk. I used to make the kids laugh. I don't twerk. I mean Twitter, tweet, whatever. And I'd have them laughing, giggling. I do it on purpose. I mean, I'm not that dumb, but I don't tweet. I don't do that. I have YouTube. That's what I do. I do YouTube. I don't know. TikTok may or may not exist. It may not stay. It may not continue to be around. India has banned TikTok. You don't have TikTok in India. One of the things that's been coming out strong in the last couple of days that they're talking about is they're trying to figure out how many people died in China. What's the current population in China? That's one of the things that they're you know when they had when they had the pandemic. I think Americans, we had about 1 million. We lost about 1 million people. Mainly those who were very old, those who were physically disabled, that had serious health issues, serious weight problems. About 1 million, a little over 1 million people. And there's a lot of talk. Different things are coming out. Different. They don't say. They don't say. but they're thinking there was a lot more people that they lost than, and and they wouldn't even say how many people they lost, but there's a lot more than was reported. Yeah, that's a number that I've heard. That's still a lot of people, but not near what they probably had previously. Well, they say that they've been sandbagging on their numbers because they were claiming to have like 1.4 billion people. And then people were saying no, they were more like maybe 800 to 900 million actually. They were basically lying about their numbers, inflating them somewhat. And then they're saying that they might have lost upwards of 500 million. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Well, supposedly their military is a couple of million people. They got a couple of million people under arms. They have the largest army, standing army in the world. And they have the largest navy now. But we still have them on tonnage. Their carriers aren't worth the crap. They've got two carriers that would basically be considered training carriers. And they've got one carrier that they built. Well, they built one. They bought one, which they spent 20 years trying to get the thing up and running. And then they built one on that model. And then they built one that's more like a regular carrier. So they've got one deployable carrier, supposedly, that they could actually probably have in combat or out and about. And they're building two more. They got two more under construction. So they'll have three serviceable carriers in the next 4 or 5 years. You know. There's a lot of stuff that they're having to undo. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out that we're going to have to address. Can they do it? No, I don't think. Yeah, they don't have the tech that they can basically do night ops. That's true. Um, there's a lot of they have a lot of holes. They have a lot of holes, and we're spending money we don't need to spend. We have to spend it, but it's a damn shame that we're having to spend it. The way we're spending it. So Uncle Al Bullfrog 79. He has been sending me information that I've been using for most of my recent topics. Since, I mean, he sends good stuff. You know, he does this homework and he sends good stuff. And he told me talk about Texas today. Well, you know, Texas. Um, the state is the governor, both of the U.S. senators, the majority of those in the majority of the um, congressmen, the state offices, statewide offices, they're all Republican. Um, the state Senate, the state House, you know. So, and you know, we don't have a state income tax. We run a surplus. We've been doing our own Let's Build the Wall program. They're building wall in 11 different areas along the border. Now, I had mentioned that the Trump administration just did its first contract to build wall in Texas, like a $70 million contract to build like 7 miles in one area. I mean, they've got gaps. They're trying to fill gaps, and they're trying to, you know, they're trying to. They're putting up Constantina wire. They're putting up temporary. Uh, they're doing what they can to plug holes, and they've got troops along the border, and they've got the National Guard along the border, and they're trying to do what they can. They're trying to shore up the California border. I mean, they've got wall along the California border, but a lot of that wall is like 10 feet high. You know, a lot of it's like old. They're trying to put Constantina wire up on top of it and below it, trying to keep people from, you know, climbing over, getting through. And there's a lot of places where they've got to replace wall that they have existing wall. It's not the 32-foot high wall that they're contracting they're building now. You know. Nine in the house, 17 likes. Well, you know, Enrique, trying to field a functional aircraft carrier, you know, that's your capital ship. There are less than, you know, there are like maybe 30 or 40 of them in the world. 30, 40 operational aircraft carriers. We have 11, plus we have our, what I would probably call escort carriers, are amphibious ones that they can basically, they're equipped with the F-35. They have a squadron, or they have about a squadron of F-35s, and they've got the VSTOL, you know, we have, and they carry like a Marine brigade. They deploy with a Marine brigade, and they've got all the amphibious landing and all that stuff, you know. We've got several of those. And, you know, the argument has been, well, we could produce we could probably produce 3 of the escort type carriers for every one, you know, Candy class that we're building. And we've got contracts right now for 3 new of the new generation character. We've got carrier. We've got contracts basically for 3 of them right now. 3 more. They've got one that's in service. They've got one that's going into service this year that they're basically field testing right now. They're getting ready. They're going to get ready to accept it and deploy it. And then they're starting. They've got construction on another one, and then they got contracts for 2 more. You know. And they're planning on building 10 of them. You know. I mean, if you look at what's going on, my mom lives by railroad tracks. There used to be at least 5 trains a day. Sometimes there's only 1 or 2 a week now. Well, they're implementing new tech. They're implementing new tech. Like the catapult system. They're not doing steam power. Now they're doing electronic, you know, the catapult system. That's one of the things they're having problems with. The elevators. They're having problems with the elevators. Some of the elevators they're having problems with, trying to get them to work right. Certain things. So some of the things that they've been implementing allows them to have a smaller crew. That, you know, the new carriers have like 1,000 less crew members than the old carriers. You know, the older carriers. And then I think they just deployed the Nimitz, which was the first of its class. I think it just got deployed to the Indian Ocean for its last, before they retire it. It was the first one of the class that was built, and now they're talking about retiring it. So it just started its last cruise, which will be a several-month cruise, and then they plan on retiring it. Oh, isn't that horrible? They use steel from the World Trade Center. Well, God, what people will protest over. Good to the last drop. Oh, we are 38 minutes into this live stream. I will try to last for an hour with your help. All of our fleet except the Ford is Nimitz. Well, that's true. We have 10 Nimitz class, and we have the 1 Ford class that is deployed, and then we've got a second one that they're working on releasing to us. They're working on it. And then they're working on a third one. And they've just about got the second one done. And it takes them 4 or 5 years to build. It takes them 5 years to build one of the damn things. And they're wanting to up construction so that they can be working on 2 of them at once. They want to be able to be working on 2 of them at once. The problem is they don't have enough skilled labor. And they are doing a good job on the new attack submarines. They've got 3 more of them coming into service this year, nuclear powered. And they're working on the new ballistic boomers that will carry the Tridents. Oh, please, dear God, you're telling me that crap? Yeah, they got too much corruption, and they are firing. They're firing a bunch of them. They're getting rid of a lot of the woke. They fired some admiral who was supposedly transgendered. Um, you look at the WNBA, the women basketball. They've got a man who claims to be a woman playing in the WNBA. Went over to Russia, some sort of tour or something other. Had some marijuana or some THC or something other. Got thrown into a men's prison. Why did this individual get thrown into a men's prison? XY chromosomes. But they're still allowing this person to play in the WNBA. I'd be raising hell about that. And I did not mention a name. Well, one of the things they're looking to do is they're starting to deploy lasers. And they're strong enough to knock down drones. And they're trying to scale up the power level so they could basically, and take out a missile. They're trying to, because it's a lot cheaper operation from the standpoint of firing the laser. And they're working on that right now. They're starting to deploy these operational lasers, and they're scaling them up, the size of them. They say that the new next generation, the sixth generation fighter, is going to have a laser weapon in addition to whatever other ordnance it carries. You have some of these missiles. Yeah. Gonna make another butter video. I could do that. I could do, I've got freeze dried butter. I got freeze dried cheese. I can mix it all up, and show it, in my compressor driven Bouge RV fridge, fridge freezer, dual zoned. Uh, I could basically do some videos on that. Um, but are you prepared? If it was SHTF or Teowaki, the end of the world as we know it, um, how long would you be able to feed yourself and your family? How much water do you have laid back? Do you have access to clean water? Are you able to filter it? If you take medication that keeps you alive, how much of that do you have? That's the part of about being prepared. They say 72 hours. The government will be there to save you in 72 hours. Well, there are people in the Carolinas that were waiting for weeks. Remember when Kamala Harris, they're giving out, I don't know what all they're giving out to the illegals. All sorts of stuff. Debit cards with $5,000 on, and then we're coming, and we're helping, and we're giving them $750 for their, to help them out. $750. Yeah. Right. Glee. Uh, Jesus. Or ammo because it was made by Israel and we can't shoot Muslims with Jew bullets. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that one. Oh, Lord. Well, like, Uzi. We had, we had security, using Uzis. And then it's like, oh, well, that's Uzi's Jewish. Can't do that. So then they're using Ingrams, like machine pistols. Um, and I think the Secret Service now is basically mainly using like Glocks, and they may be using some MP4s or something. I don't know. But Wayne would probably know more about that than I ever will. But well, the other thing is you get your internet's down, your wires are down, your towers are down. Got a bunch of stuff that's not working, so they're not going to be able to use debit cards. They're not going to be able to use credit cards. A lot of these places won't be open. They don't have power. All of their cold stuff is bad, so they have to basically, throw it away. All their frozen stuff, everything's. They're not getting supplies through. In a big natural disaster or something happens, you're going to be in that situation. So what you have is what you have. What you have is what you have. You got to think about that. Mike, Crusher Reviews. Hey, I really liked that. You did it about a week or so ago, but I just saw it today, Mike. Very good. I enjoyed your review. But that was a nice British ration. They put good stuff in their rations. Somebody asked, well, why the Canadian one? Somebody said, well, how is it that the Canadian rations why do they have better components, or some of the components are better? Well, they don't make near as many of them. They don't need to make near as many of them. They're military. They have, their military's a fraction the size of ours. So we have to make so many more rations. So I guess we economize a little bit with some of the stuff that we do. That's my take on it. That we economize a little bit on some of the stuff that we do. And I am surprised that they stopped putting the peanut butter from Stone Mountain, Georgia. If you've never been to Stone Mountain, you need to go. It's a sight to see. It's got its artwork on the side of the mountain, and you take a tram up to the top. They've got a nice museum there, and very very nice tourist attraction. Very nice tourist attraction. Stone Mountain, Georgia. I've been there several times. Well, yes. Yes. You better be able to defend what's yours. And if you feel like you're going to be overrun, you better be able to bug out. As opposed to die right there fighting. Take what you can and bug out. Have your bag ready. Grade D, not suitable for institutional use. Yeah. Well, some of that stuff's like Chef Boyardee. You know, tastes like Chef Boyardee, looks like Chef Boyardee. Some of it. I've noticed that the halals and the kosher rations, they don't last near as long, but the components and the stuff, the extras and such that they put in it is really good stuff. You know, I like the cold weather that they have, the freeze dried Mountain House Maine. That's, those are the ones you want to get your hands on. The problem is if you're looking for long term storage, the halals and the koshers, if it says 2 years or if it says 3 years, that's about how long they're good for. So they start going bad, you start getting rancid nuts and such in them. Stuff starts going bad after that time. Whereas you'd think, you'd hope an MRE will last you 12 years if you store it properly. Well, and that's one reason why, as of late, as far as prep's concerned, it's just freeze dried. I'm just adding more freeze dried. You know, freeze dried beverages, freeze dried coffee, your milk, orange drink, grape drink, different freeze dried beverages. Moo milk, the chocolate stuff, different flavors. Um, Freeze dried eggs, freeze dried butter, freeze dried cheese, freeze dried peanut butter, all the different freeze dried different things, extra stuff. Different meals, freeze dried. We've got a lot of Mountain House. I've got a lot of Agassiz Farms. A lot of it. I've got the major brands. I've got lots of the major brands freeze dried. Buckets of stuff. Buckets and buckets. Buckets of the freeze dried rice. Buckets of freeze dried oats. The pails, the buckets. Lots of number 10 cans. And I'm just trying to increase my depth. How long can I feed 4 people? How much water do I have for 4 people? That kind of stuff. I plan for 4 people. So sorry, Uncle L. Your flock seems to be diminishing. Wheat's art. Wheat and Shaw. How's it going, Wheat? A very artistic young man. Puts out some really good artwork. Very talented. Thank you for like number 18. Take care, Uncle L. God bless you and whoever passed away. So, the topic for today, which we've been going through, is basically the protest. The left is melting down. They are melting down because they have no control, they have no power. All of their secrets are being revealed. Uh, a lot of their minions are taking the chin. They're cutting. They're cutting jobs. They're cutting jobs, cutting positions, cutting money spent, and they're dying. They're dying. It just breaks my heart. They're dying. They're going crazy. You know, they're going crazy. So I'm going to be putting out another water video as soon as I get the thing edited. I'll put some information with it. I've got so many shorts I could put out right now. It's funny. I just gotta, piece them together and find some music to go with them and to load them. But I'm trying to parcel them out. I'm not trying to do it all at once. Like Uncle Al and his 20 shorts, he just, here's another 20. It's like, oh. I try to space my stuff out. And some of it really catches fire and I get a lot of views. And some of it's like clunk. Oh, that one got 30. We're not talking videos. We're talking about a short. That short got 30. Wow. And the next one got over 1,000. It's like, I don't understand. I don't understand it. Maybe I need to stick with just the popular latest music that, those tend to get more views. If you use the latest music that's real popular with the kids these days. I don't do that enough, I guess. Yeah, not fast enough, I guess. I don't know. I think about the way things were, the way prices were when I was growing up. You'd buy a brick home back in the 60s and you'd pay $30,000 for it and it'd be a nice middle class house. 4-sided brick, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage. Nice brick home for $30,000. Now a home like that is right at $300,000. A lot more than that in some areas. So, you think about that. Music has something to do with it for sure. I've also noticed time of day is a factor as well. Like, when do you release it? My friend Dave, who goes by Yoda, Guru and Wahoo the Turtle fame, he tells me, release your stuff between 10 and 11 o'clock at night. Release it between 10 and 11 o'clock at night. Release like a couple, And every once in a while I'm up at that time to do it. But usually I don't. And yeah, my mother, may she rest in peace. She'd be 100 years old if she were alive right now. Over 100. And she used to tell me when she was a little girl, she'd go to the movies. Her father, they'd, give her money. She'd go to the movies Saturday. Nickel. She'd get a drink, nickel. Popcorn, nickel. The movie ticket was a nickel. And it was shocking when they went up to 6 cents. And she grew up in the 30s during the Depression. She was born in the 20s. I think she was born around 21. And she grew up at that time. May she rest in peace. So I plan on probably not live streaming tomorrow. I will do a post, whether I will live stream or not. I will probably release a couple of shorts, and I've got a video I'm going to try to get uploaded as soon as I can put it all together and get all my description and everything in with it. It'll be another water video. Please like, share, subscribe my stuff. Leave a comment to support my channel whenever possible. I'm trying to get to 1900. When I hit 1900, I'm going to do a 1900 subscriber giveaway. In order to qualify, leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I will have released when I hit 1900. It'll be a nice box, and somebody's going to win. It's not going to be that many people, so just be one of those people. I practice the Scout motto to be prepared. I get up in the morning, I drink my coffee, take my medication, say the Lord's Prayer, get right for the day. I treat people the way I want to be treated, live by example. And everybody, I appreciate you. Have a blessed evening, and be prepared. Well, hopefully we'll see you again very soon for another edition of Coffee Talk. Bye-bye.